Hey guys, I have two project shares for you today. This first one is for actually they're both for swaps. So I'm just going to show you the one I just finished. This is a tag. And here we go. And actually I used some watercolor paper and traced out the Graphic 45 tag shape. Because I wanted something that was more sturdy than these, since I was going to be using some of my Distress inks with the water. So the Distress ink colors that I use to get this effect, kind of an ombre effect, Picked Raspberry, Worn Lipstick, Spun Sugar. Those are the three colors that I used. And I did the background first, and you can see the drip marks there, and then I dried it. And this is the Canson XL 9 by 12 inch paper pad, is how I made these tags from. It's one piece of paper, and it's like 140 pound cardstock. So you can see this is actually the rough side of the paper, and this is the smooth side. And so that's what I used. And then I used this Tim Holtz stamp that came out some time ago. It's one of those blueprint ones, and it's the Cupid. And he is actually popped up a little bit. I created an ombre effect with the Cupid as well. And to do that, I used some of the scrap paper that I had cut from the tag, and used the Spun Sugar and Picket Fence paint daubers. And then I ran my finger between the two colors to create the ombre effect from light to dark. And it's pretty light. And then I fussy cut him out and then popped him up on some foam tape that's not very thick. I purposely didn't want it thick, and actually it's some black foam tape that Vicky got me from Daiso. I think Vicky got this for me. So that's how I created that little lift on the Cupid, and he's kind of acting like he doesn't have an arrow in the stamp, so I gave him an arrow, and the arrow is up here. This is a metal arrow from Paper Studio, from Hobby Lobby, and I just painted it gold. It's actually like a vintage color, but I painted it gold with my Inka Gold metallic rub, and this is actually the gold color, because they have several different colors of gold. And that is because I wanted it to match the embossing paste that I used. And the embossing paste is this Wendy Vici embossing paste, or Dreamweaver, and it's the metallic gold. And I used a Studio Calico mask. See, I have all of my materials out still. That's why I didn't clean up yet. So here's the mask, and to me it looked like falling stars, so I kind of made it like he pierced one of the hearts and it released all of these falling stars. So that's kind of the look I was going for. And then I used these two hearts here that Carla had made for me. She gave me a little jar. It's a strawberry jar that she's had in her stash for a while, and she filled it with all different like strawberries, and then there's some hearts made from fabric. So that's what I used here and here. There's two of them on here, and then there's some buttons, some seam binding. And this stamp is actually again one of the Tim Holtz blueprint stamps. It says February 14 on it, and I used my Versamark and my Worn Lipstick embossing powder to emboss the 14, and it looks distressed, I hope. And that is my tag, and I don't know if I can get the whole thing in because it's so long. Well, there we go. So that is the tag I made, okay, and that is for a swap. I made another project for a swap, and I've had this for a while, but I didn't make a video of it yet, so I'm going to go ahead and show it to you. And I don't know, again, I don't know if I can fit it all in camera. I'll move my heat gun and some of this stuff over. Sorry, guys. So here it is. This is for a swap, and this is one of several projects that I've done or will be doing for the swap. And this is a lot of work. First of all, it's made from this white is felt. And I don't know if you're seeing this well enough, but there's a pattern in it that I sewed. It's kind of like this little spiky pattern, and it goes all the way from the tip of the heart all the way up and back down again on both sides. And then I created a fabric puffy heart that is sitting inside of this one. And this is Tanya Whalen fabric. And I used some tulle that's pleated to go around the edges of the heart. I hand sewed the inside heart. Hand sewed it? No, maybe I didn't. I don't think so. I don't think I hand sewed that. I think I used my machine, but it's crooked on purpose. I didn't want it to look perfect. And then I used some of this dainty trim that Vicki had given me. It's from Daiso, around the edges to cover up the where I sewed it. And then there's also some tulle back here, which is got glitter in it to just kind of make the heart pop a little bit. So lots of different techniques that I did on here. This is some beadwork that I did. These beads are sewed on here, and you can see there's a little tiny pink bead here, and that's because I used some clear thread, and I put it through the bead, and to hold the bigger bead on here I put a little pink bead at the end. And then I also sewed some of the same tiny seed beads in between. There's 3 of them in between each of the larger green beads to kind of give it some focal point here on the corner. So that's the corner there. I also have a dangle. I created this wire hanging portion here. You can see that. I just kind of like wrapped it around a dowel to make the shape, and then hooked it through some eyelets that are on here to secure it, and then tied kind of a knot. And then I created this little dangle charm on the side, and it's got little hearts from beads that I made. Some flat back hearts here. On the hanger part, there's even a bow that's made from some of the leftover fabric and tulle. And then on this right hand side, I created a little pocket here of a heart with some of the fabric, and also did that same repeated pattern of sewing on it. And this little metal piece I made as well. I have some flat metal sheets that are really thin, and it comes from Making Memories some years ago. I also had got the metal punch set that was sold along with it, but I had gotten it years after I had purchased the sheets. And so what I did was punched a quote from E. E. Cummings' poem. It says, "I carry your heart, I carry it in my heart." So I just kind of made a banner out of it. And so this is metal. You can cut yourself on it if you're not careful, but it's metal, and I have rolled it into like a banner and punched out these little tiny hearts with my heart punch, and put it here on this pocket that I sewed. You can see I can put my hand back there, and I will be putting something down in there for the recipient. There's a good look at the little wire piece going through the eyelet there, since this side isn't covered. I think I just put a little tiny charm on it and some tulle to kind of make it look shabby. In the center part, I used some of the leftover fabric and kind of laced up the center to make it look like the heart's coming out. So it's supposed to be hung on the wall, you know, from the wire. So that is my project from the front side. Now the back side, I also did that same sort of technique where I sewed it. It looks like it's quilted, right? And that's because I used some interfacing in here to make it look all puffy, and I just sewed like a random pattern that I wanted to put in here, and then I put a handmade tag here, and I was going to sign it for that individual. So this is the back side of the heart, and I did use my pinking shears to cut the heart out. The inside heart doesn't come out. It's actually glued down in there in a certain position so that it looks like it's, you know, coming out of the outside white pocket heart. And so that is a project that I did for a swap as well. So thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, leave a comment below. And I will talk to you soon. Hopefully I'll have more projects to share later on this week or on the weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye.